It's time for a look back at the highs and lows of 7 days on air at GB News. It's an item which makes presenters cry and usually leads to the resignation of at least one sound engineer. And let's kick off with the brilliant Michelle Dewberry. And one of our best contributors to the channel, the excellent Ben Habib, giving a seductive wink to the camera.
Former Brexit Party MEP and now the CEO of First Property Group, Ben Habib.
What's going on with his eye? Is it conjunctivitis? What's going on? Maybe a nervous tic? Let's take another look. What a babe. I've got to say, we have plenty of winkers on the channel, but this guy is in a league of his own. Ben Habib went on to forget his famous manners with some harsh words for his host and her employability.
Let's not forget, if you're a regular viewer, you will remember that Ben Habib is also the man that said he would never give me a job.
I didn't say never.
No, he did.
You could retake your GCSE.
Retake your GCSE, that is definitely a mic drop from Ben Habib. And as harsh as it gets. But I've got to say, having been led by professors and so-called experts into economic disaster over the last couple of years, my money is on Michelle's frankly refreshing brand of real-world common sense. Michelle, not for the first time in your career, I'm delighted to say you're hired. Now, Michelle makes headlines every night from 6 till 7 with compelling political debates and searing, unapologetic commentary. But sometimes it's what she's wearing that gets people talking.
I had £1 for every single one of you that's told me I look like Colonel Sanders from KFC tonight. I'd be absolutely minted.
Interesting stuff. Now, for those listening on GB News Radio, we're showing a photo of Michelle and Colonel Sanders, the famous founder of KFC. And yes, that's Michelle on the right. I might lend her my filler shave. It's time now for the weekly Sitting on the Fence award. As you know, the presenters at GB News are just so vanilla. What does my friend and colleague Nigel Farage really think about a top scientist telling us we shouldn't bring cake to work? See if you can work out where he really stands on this.
I am sick to death of these Puritans wanting to literally control every aspect of our lives. Please shut up, go away, do your job. We're not interested. We find you very boring. And to all of you, if it is your birthday, don't work from home. Take some cake into the office.
But what do you really think, Nigel? Of course, Nigel is right. And as the man behind Brexit, he's right to make the point that you can have your cake and eat it. Now, we've seen the good and the great of the global elite flying in their private jets to Davos in Switzerland, wagging their fingers to the great unwashed like you and me about climate change and the world economy. But there were one or two other surprise guests on that guest list, as revealed by our economics supremo, Liam Halligan, on Bev Turner's excellent morning programme.
But interestingly, representatives of Man United are at Davos because they're looking for a buyer.
No.
Absolutely.
Now, to paraphrase the boss of the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, he's famous for saying, "You will own nothing and you will be happy." That's right, you will own nothing and you will be happy. Well, to paraphrase that, the Glazer family normally say, "You will win nothing and you will be happy." Come on, you Reds. Awkward moment of the week goes to our late-night newspaper review show headliners and the excellent host, Simon Evans, casting a spotlight on comedian Nick Dixon's love life or lack thereof.
Next story, we have Tuesday's Telegraph. I feel almost cruel asking your response for this, Nick.
Yeah, I was going to say, thanks for giving me this one. This is revealed the true cost of being single. And finally, I'm a victim group, so it feels pretty good.
Oh, blimey, the cost of being single. Well, they don't spend it on clothes or razors, do they, Nick? Now, I happen to know that Nick Dixon is one of the most eligible bachelors in the country, one of the nation's finest satirists, a ready wit, great writer, plus he's a bit of a gym bunny as well. But here is how you attract a lady. That'll do it. Back to Nigel with some harsh words for the Chancellor, Jeremy Hunt. I did say Hunt.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Why do they try to pretend they're normal human beings? They're not. They're a bunch of Oxbridge weirdos, in my opinion. And there he was. The entirety of the inflation problem. Nothing to do with me, Gov.
They've put something in Nigel's tea this week. He's right, of course. What a banker. Now it's over to the fabulous presenter, political commentator and cleric, Calvin Robinson, with some strong words for the Church of England.
From my view, it seems the upper echelons of the Church of England are overseeing a managed decline, and their priority is to leave behind a perfectly embalmed liberal corpse.
Blimey. Calvin raises a very fair point, but I've got to say, based on that audition, I don't think his dream of becoming the next presenter of Jackanory will happen anytime soon. Daddy, I'm scared of the presenter. Let's take another listen.
A perfectly embalmed liberal corpse.
Corpse, blimey, you're scaring the kids. But we all know who the next presenter of Jackanory will be. Works every time. Now, Prince Harry has dominated the headlines in the last few weeks, culminating in a lively debate on my show on Sunday. I asked my panellists why Prince Harry had allowed his family to be attacked in this way. Peter Lloyd thinks he's got the answer. He let it happen.
Sometimes people got goods.
Do you know what?
They got some goodies.
Can I be frank?
Please.
You know what it is? Hypnotised by vagina.
Hypnotised by vagina. Blimey. Back in my day, Paul McKenna did the job. And last but not least, veteran commentator Andrew Pearce was getting information on an important issue that affects all of us Brits.
Don't want to scrub your wok. So you obviously clean it with a green scourer, which is absolutely fine. And then what you do, you put it back on the heat and you make sure that all the water has evaporated.
Blimey, this is taking a while. I think I'll just file my nails.
Now, I do know some people that put a very, very thin layer of oil on just to keep it. But if it's dry, you shouldn't need to do that.
Go on.
What you're trying to do with a good carbon steel wok is build up a patina, which is that natural non-stick every time you use the wok. And the darker that goes, the more non-stick and the more flavour.
Is it over yet? Blimey, those are your clips of the week, and there's really only one way to sign off this item.